Thank you for coming back. Welcome back for another 15-10 training game. I've had a rough go the last few training games. I'll try and buckle down and focus and play some good chess here. Okay. Weaker bug house player. Um, E4. I'm pretty determined to get back up to par with my Sicilian defense. Um, all right, he's been here a number of years. I've played him once before. Um, and I got absolutely thrashed in the Sveshnikov earlier. I want to give that another go, assuming my opponent plays into it. I used to be quite practiced in the Sveshnikov a number of years ago, back before Magnus started playing it in the World Championship. And I mean, I'm sure he'd played it before then, but like its popularity had kind of exploded. He's going to go into a Rossalimo type of line. And like most people, I don't really have Rossalimo lines memorized. So you can give up the knight. You can challenge my center. Take, take. I get the bishop pair. I end up with the bishop pair in those lines. So let's just continue our development. And I think I'll go into a Paulson type of style. If I have to take back with this pawn, I'd rather take back with this one. Could always develop the queen, take back with the queen. But then when the knight takes back, it attacks the queen. So I'm spending too long thinking on move 3. I'll play d6, and I'll go into the d6 Sicilian lines. Maybe a Najdorf or a Scheveningen. Did self-pin, though. Break that easily enough. Um, a lot of times when they put the bishop here, they do just intend to swap it off and take this knight off the board. It's my experience at this level. Of course, castling is a move here. Just get your king out the center, and I guess d4 is also perfectly reasonable here. Continue to challenge the center. As for me, if he doesn't take, obviously, if he takes back, if he challenges on d4, I'm going to take. If he decides to develop his other knight, and this is interesting. I can break the pin, which might be pretty wise. Or seeing this pawn chain here, I can develop my g pawn to g6, because this bishop doesn't really have a future here. It'd be much better placed on g7. But can I get away with doing that immediately? If I push it now and he pushes d4, I can't take with the knight. The knight is pinned. So I have to take back with the pawn. The knight can't capture back, so the queen can take here and would be threatening my rook. I develop the knight to block. So maybe I want to break the pin first. Probably that's really a good option. If you have a pin, it's best to break it as soon as you can and not just sit there and let the tension build and your opponent the opportunity to pile up more pieces. I only did that so that I have the option to take with the knight necessary. Now, if d4 and c takes d, c takes d, and knight takes d, I'm not forced to take the knight. I can let this set here and continue with my plan g6. Then I don't have to worry about the queen coming to d4. This undeveloped king side is a little bit of a problem. I need to work on that. So a plan for the bishop. My plan for the knight is going to be f6. Maybe h6 if the mood strikes me. Well, it's still not pushing d4. There's d4. Okay. Now I don't want him to take. We have to take back with the d pawn. The entire purpose of the Sicilian is to swap, take white's d pawn for your own c pawn and end up with a 2-on-1 central pawn majority. That is the entire philosophy of the Sicilian. And to not take really just goes against the whole theory of the opening. Now, maybe it's playable, maybe it's a game of chess, but if you have a plan and strategically it is a good idea and there's no reason for you to change that plan, you should probably continue with your plan. So he does have the option of taking the knight first, and then when I take back, I'll take back with the pawn to bring another pawn towards the center, gain more central control. You will have the opportunity to take back with the queen, threaten this rook, in which case I can block with the knight, or I could block with the pawn. That weakens this d pawn pretty severely. But now he takes with the knight, so I continue development as planned. Now my bishop has an excellent scope over It's a long diagonal. The H8, A1 diagonal. I really like that positioning in most of my openings. Okay. Develops the bishop to a natural square. You have ideas like takes, and bishop d4, aiming to swap off. I don't particularly want to get into a position where I'm blocking this pawn in. Transpose to Sveshnikov structure, but without the tempo gaining queenside pawn pushes, because white's knights are already centralized. Just continue to develop, add pressure here, prepare to castle, get your king out to the center. I don't want to weaken this d6 square just yet because I'm not forced to. Now he can take, I take back. If he puts his bishop there, my knight is blocking, so I'll let him take the knight if he wants it, but I don't think he does. He pushes f4 and a Grand Prix style attack. I use this move quite a bit myself with white when I played the Open Sicilians more. In this exact position, I'm not sure. Now, what about knight g4? This bishop is undefended, threatens a good piece. If I'm able to get that off, this piece would be a beast. So knight here, knight g4. What does he play? Knight takes knight, attacking the queen. I take back and attack the bishop. Two pieces hanging. He can only defend. Well, no, he can defend both here. No, this is a pawn attacking. I win a piece for a pawn. So that's not a good option for him. Maybe he takes with the bishop and I take with the pawn. Still doesn't have anywhere. He can move his bishop back. That's not really what you want to do, though. Consider that a moral victory if I had to move his bishop again. Although my knight will be a little bit. I mean, it'll have good pressure there. I could think about queen to b6 along this diagonal, the a7 g1 diagonal, with the knight placed on g4, looking at f2 could be pretty useful. So I like this move. I like this move a lot. Sometimes there can be tricks there. If the bishop can come down and pin this bishop to the king, but with my knight interposing, I believe this works. So I'm straight up threatening to win a piece. And how does white deal with that? Okay, he does threaten. He threatens my queen, and we've swapped pieces, and now he has two pieces hanging. So I think he loses a piece here. I think he miscalculated this, and he tried to danger level me. Oh, well, there is this. Well, yeah, but then I swap, check. He takes, and he's attacking my rook. Okay, maybe I don't win a piece. Maybe that was premature. Is there a way to do this? I've got two pieces I'm attacking. Almost pre-moved, and that would have been not so good. Okay. What about blocking this way now? Still have two pieces attacked. He takes a second to take back, and I win a piece. I have weakened my d6 pawn. With the potential, I mean, think he is losing a piece. Ready to give up my bishop. I've got an extra piece, 3 minors versus 2. So principal says liquidate. You got 2 central pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns, and I've got 5. He's got 2 pawns for the piece. Maybe I just castle. I don't aid his development, letting him bring his queen to the center. I just get a developing move in. That seems wise. There might have been this knight move here as well. Bob Seger song pops into my head whenever I say this knight move. Working on a night moves. Show my age there a little bit. Not quite. I mean, Bob Seger was a little before my time, but still grew up listening to him. Dad was an oldies thing. Oldies to me, but it was his generation of music. So now he has the choice. He can swap off the bishop. Likely an error. He doesn't want to trade down pieces when he's already down. He's got this pawn push. He can try to solid fortify this pawn, but right now this knight prevents that from happening. This is an interesting idea. Anchored by this. You go bishop here. Reposition. No, that hangs my knight. I don't want to hang my knight. Knight is very, very useful where it is. Hmm. So he wants to come here, check. With what follow-up I did. I just bring my knight. my king to h8, and then what? I would really like to move my bishop there, but how about here instead? Ideas of coming here. After the knight is safe. We'll do that. It opens up the line of sight of the queen on this pawn, this weakened pawn, so I'm threatening to take the pawn. Come here and attack this pawn and my rook, but I just move rook to b8 and defend. Okay. He attacks the bishop as well, which moves the defense of my knight. So I think I have to offer up the exchange here. I should have calculated that a little better. Offer up the exchange, but I'm threatening the bishop. Am I, though? He could take the bishop instead. Then I take with the queen and resume my protection of the knight. Queen is undefended here and hanging. But there's no discovery that's good. If he takes, I just take the queen first. Take back my bishop and have a looming threat of forking the rooks potentially if he develops this one. Oh, he just resigned. He just did not like his position at all and resigned. Might have had a decent shot fighting on by taking the bishop. Oh no, it's just removes material from the board. Let's check out the game review. Not a super accurate game, a couple blunders here and there, but decent. Hook line. Okay. That's a blunder. It did not like f4 here. Did not like f4. So that was an excellent move, and that's why it didn't like f4. Bishop is undefended. And at best, it's going to have to go backwards. But if it does, it cuts off the protection here. It has to go this way to maintain protection over the knight. Then I take it. Takes, loses the knight. I think he might just be down a piece here. A piece for a pawn, something. I think that, yeah, this was a big boo-boo in this particular structure, in this position. He was not ready to push f4. A little premature. That was the best move, an attempt to distract me a little bit, but simply take back. You threaten two pieces, and I thought this was a little shaky. Thought my pawn push was a little shaky. Wonder what the best move is then. And maybe it's the castle. I like the idea of castling because he can take my bishop. I take back. But if the bishop leaves this diagonal, this knight is very well placed. It's threatening to come in and fork. My queen is aiming to come out on this diagonal. I don't think he wants to waste time doing that. He needs to get this bishop back doing something. I think maybe castles. A blunder. Hell's castling a blunder. Well, we'll have to examine why there. Probably because the best move is something. Okay, I should have taken. It just wants me to take. Check. But now queen takes. Then what? Castle here? No, doesn't like that so much. I'll give up my edge. Queen here, pin. Also giving up the edge. Um, E5. It wants me to go E5 here. Okay. It's the idea I had with the bishop, but just do it with the queen. E5. This hangs, but so does this. And more importantly, I think I don't even take the bishop. I come here with the queen and check. And that's big danger. Big danger. Because he has to give up. Does he have to go with the queen? Yeah, he can't. He can't do that. If I do that and he does this, that's that's disastrous. H1. I suppose he just gives up the exchange. I was thinking about the old Venus flytrap trick here, but he just gives up the rook. And he's got some pawns for it. He will have some pawns for it. Yeah, maybe just take the piece here. So good game. Um, Thanks for coming in and watching some chess. Tune back in for some more training games. And if there are any ideas for other content, appreciate and welcome the comments and the suggestions. Feel free to drop me a line. Thanks again.